All right, so first things first.
Your checks are in the mail, by the way. Thank you for coming.
All right, first things first. Quick introduction. My name is Timber Puppers. This is Edward Bosco, and of course over here we have Malcolm Ray. See you. Yeah, seriously.
Well, my job's done. I'll see you guys later.
We are your gracious hosts this afternoon. So, what we're going to be doing here really quickly is we're going to open up the floor to all you folks for a quick Q&A for anything you want to know about voiceover from a beginner's perspective, from an advanced perspective, whatever you want to know. Then once that's done, we're going to call people up to do some live script readings from games such as Dust and Elysian Tail.
I guess
They know what that is. Everybody knows what that is. All right, so let's go ahead and get the Q&A underway. Any questions?
Any questions?
Wow. You.
I think that most people will agree with me when I say that voice acting is a hard business to get into. So what are your recommendations for someone starting out?
For somebody starting out, basically do a lot of research. There's a lot of great websites with a lot of great information. The best one out there by far is simply iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. That is all one word, and it's D. Bradley Baker's website. D. Bradley Baker, if you don't know his name, I promise you've heard him. He is literally in everything.
Awesome creatures.
He does voices, he does creature noises, great guy, been in the biz a long time, knows everything there is to know about voiceover, and he has this great little website where it literally goes from a beginner's perspective, intermediate, advanced, the full spectrum of D. Bradley's personal tips on how you can get started. As for my own personal recommendation, first get comfortable with the sound of your own voice. It's super important to be absolutely fearless behind a microphone. The best way to do that is learn your sound, know what it's capable of, and then expand upon it. But first you have to get comfortable with the sound of it being played back to you. Which is honestly, it's a little bit jarring at first, the first time you hear your own recorded voice played back at you. Yeah. But you have to get comfortable with that sound.
Yeah, what he said. Also, marry really, really rich people, because they will support you. That's always great. Or have a really rich relative, if you can do that, if you can pull it off.
There you go. Yeah, what they said. Pretty much what they said. And as far as like starting to get into the industry, you pretty much just need to. Oh,
put it in your face.
Yeah, put it in my face. There we go. Yeah, you just need to again do some research. Record yourself, get comfortable with the sound of your voice, and then start looking for small roles to do. There's a lot of independent animations going on. It's great in this day and age.
Student films is where I started. There are always, any college is going to have an animation department. Be like, hey, I know you're doing your senior thesis. Do you need any voices for it? And that's a really easy way to start building a resume.
Yep.
Because some of those people, like Cal Arts, oh my God, they're like 2 semesters away from Pixar. Like they're really, really good in college. So that's a great thing to show off, and you've got an advantage because if you're at the college, you know who's working on what. Any other? Yes, sir.
Are there, so with the proliferation of the internet and YouTube and stuff, does having your things up on YouTube help? And are there any kind of contracting or bounty board style stuff that's growing that could help you get your foot in the door?
I mean, YouTube is huge. I mean, my friend Martin, who a lot of you might know as Little Karibo, he has an entire series online called Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and that's all online. That's all he's doing, basically everything. I mean, there is a huge market on YouTube. Look how many Let's Players there are. Look how many guys there are just making animations that eventually get picked up, like Breadwinners, or Rick and Morty was just a skit that he threw up on YouTube, and now it's like the biggest thing ever.
Right.
Like that's absolutely, if you can animate and you can do voices and all that stuff, there's absolutely no reason not to put that on YouTube, because if you can get a big enough following, people are going to come to you, and that also starts building your portfolio for whatever it is that you want to do. So YouTube, yeah, absolutely YouTube.
Absolutely, yep. Yeah. Oh, did you have something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What would you say is the biggest difference, outside of the obvious, of course, being seen versus not being seen? What's the biggest difference between somebody who acts like on TV or in the movies or on a stage and voice acting?
You got that one?
My favorite answer to this question was actually Charlie Adler, who is he was the voice of pretty much the entirety of Cow and Chicken. He was in Rocko's Modern Life. He has been all over the place. Great actor, great actor. And he was asked that exact same question, and he put it basically just as a level of energy. With film actors, it's very intimate, it's very close. TV actors are a little bit bigger. you have to project. On stage, you have to talk very loudly so that everybody in the entire audience can hear you. And animation is huge! You have to be full of energy to do animation. I often put my entire body into any role that I do because these characters have to live. The only way you can make them live is with your voice. You don't have any other tricks. You don't have facial expression. You don't have body language. But you have to convey all of that with your voice alone. So the energy, usually just through the roof. I mean, we've all seen 90s cartoons in general. Like, listen to those characters. Huge levels of energy.
I'm actually going to slightly disagree because I'm going to add a caveat. It depends on what you're working on.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of video games like Mass Effect or Dragon Age that are very real, very grounded. In my opinion, it's prep time. When you work on film and you work on even I guess when you do your film stuff, you have days, weeks, months, sometimes years to look over that script, to build a character, to understand exactly how you're going to say something. In voiceover, I walk into a booth, they hand me a script, and they say, go. I don't have context. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know. I'm normally not recording with anybody. It's just, Hanaki Maki Daki Sass. All right, beep, 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 go. Like, I get a Japanese preview in anime. That's great. That's about it. But beyond that, in a video game, they're going to hand me like 1,000 lines and say, go. That's just kind of the way it works. So prep time is probably the biggest thing that I've noticed from voiceover versus stage, or even you've done plenty of theater. Like, you had time to do blocking and to learn your lines and get off script.
Weeks and weeks of rehearsal.
And when you do voiceover, they send you a script and say, have this to me Monday, and it's Sunday.
Seriously. You're expected to be just quick.
It is the definition of cold reading. It is ice cold Chicago winter reading. That is what that is.
What they said.
Yeah,
They really know their stuff.
in the back.
Does having a moldable voice, like you can do accents, impressions, does that help?
Oh yeah. Big
No,
time.
it's terrible. If you can do multiple voices, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, that's great. Most of the
I really want to do some stuff. Come on.
Christopher Walken will get you far. Everybody, I swear, everybody has a walk-in. Even if it's bad, somebody has a walk-in.
But the great thing, just a quick side note, even a bad imitation, that's an original voice right there.
It's a different voice.
You guys know who Snagglepuss is?
Yeah.
That is a offshoot imitation of the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz. No joke. Dawes has said it before he passed. That's literally what he was doing, is an impression. But nobody hears that and goes, that's the Cowardly Lion.
Right, or like Stimpy is like a bad, well, not really bad, but it's Larry Fine from Three Stooges.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
The brain, of course, is Orson Welles, so on and so forth.
But that actually sounds kind of close to Orson. You absolutely. When they did like Peas in July, you knew exactly who that was. Let's be real.
Fair enough. But no, the more you can do, absolutely the better. I will say though that your normal voice again will be your most valuable weapon.
Okay.
In the back.
I got to talk to John St. John at the last convention I went
Duke
to.
Nukem.
Yeah, and I asked him, I'm like, what is your advice? And he said basically have the ability to do like narration, commercial, and
be versatile.
And so what would you like expand upon that? Like what else?
I would say, anytime you're watching TV, even if it's Hulu, when you have that urge to skip the commercial, because we all hate commercials, there's a dude in a booth recording that commercial, and they get paid really, really well. Like, better than animation, better than video games. If you book a commercial that ends up on Hulu or national TV or something during the Super Bowl, you are set for years. Like, that's just the way the industry works. So when you're like, man, I don't really want, I just want to make funny voices in a booth and be in cartoons and games, and you have to be versatile. So when you listen to an audiobook, when you listen to those commercials, even when you listen to trailers, I mean, trailers are a very specific niche thing, but if you have the voice for it, that's all stuff that you can make money off of, and that's all stuff that you can do. So I would agree with John, do as much as you can, and whenever you have the opportunity, listen to as much as you can in different genres.
I'm going to add to that and say that most people, when they first start out in this industry, 90% of their voiceover paychecks are from commercials, maybe even more like 95%, quite frankly. I mean, nobody, it's not glamorous doing commercials, but that's really how you have to start out. And again, that's why your normal voice is your most valuable weapon, because especially with today's commercial market.
Also, find like niches that you can do. Like, one thing that I learned that I could do, and thing that I figured out, and this piggybacks on what Dee can do, is creature noises. A lot of times in cartoons and in these animated movies, you hear a barking dog, you hear a growling wolf or something. That's normally a person.
And it's usually D. Bradley Baker.
Who's seen Avatar? Who's seen Korra? Legend of Korra. You guys know Naga?
Yeah.
Not a sound effect. That's a human.
You guys know Momo and Appa?
Human.
D. Bradley Baker.
D. Baker. No joke. Like, that's all him. And, like, I just worked on an animated movie, and literally at the end of the session, they're like, all right, we have, like, 5 monsters that are going to attack this city. Who could sound like a monster? And I literally stood there and went, eh? So for, like, the next hour, I'm just sitting there growling and snarling and bursting through walls and throwing people through stuff and terrorizing a city. And that, like, but that's a niche. Like, they know if you can do that, they can call you in. And on top of doing whatever character you're going to do, they're like, all right, and you can do these 5 or 6 other, like, bestial things. Like, so if that's something that you can do it. If it's a commercial, do it. There are niches in the industry that people can find, things that you do that not a lot of other people can do. And that's just another way for you to make yourself marketable.
So, I have this thing where either I have my voice or absolutely do not. There's no in between. So how do you deal with, like, training your voice, getting more longevity out of teeth?
Throat coat.
Throat coat tea.
Or Hulk juice.
Yeah.
Honey. Honey's a big one. And I mean, daily vocal warm-ups can be a big friend to you as well. Honestly, if you're just, in the shower or something, warm up your voice a little bit. Do a few scales. You don't necessarily have to sing the scales.
Unless you're my roommate and you decide to do full-on opera in the shower, which is not okay. Xander.
Of course he doesn't.
You guys know the Smash announcer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, him. That's my roommate. Loves to sing in the shower, and I want to kill him. I love him to death, but I will kill him.
Well, if I move in with you, I'm going to be doing opera in the shower too, because that's why I warm up my voice. So
you guys can take a shower together and just sing opera. How about that?
Yes.
Kind of tag teaming up with what he asked. I heard that lemon is good to help, like if you do, for whatever, get a sore throat or whatever, lemon helps soothe it. But that if you drink lemon juice while you're trying to perform, it actually makes your voice worse.
It's too acidic, yeah. Lemon juice, when diluted, can be very helpful. It's also good for dissolving postnasal drip if you suffer from that. I suffer from that. But yeah, like just raw lemon juice, I mean, that's acidic. Your throat doesn't like acid. So it's good to find a balance. But yeah, honey tea with just a few drops of lemon, perfect.
Or just, I was working on a play-by-play game where I had to literally scream for 4 hours on end. I would do throat coat, and then for the rest of the session, I would do hot water with honey mixed in. That's literally, and I did that 5 days in a row, and they're like, how are you still standing? So that works for me, but everybody's voice is different. So not everything is going to work the same on your voice that does on somebody else's. So take the honey and the water, try the teas, figure out what works best for you, and then just stick to that.
And like room temp water.
Oh, for sure.
Just
room temperature water.
Yeah, because like I know it's like refreshing to have that ice cold beverage, but it constricts the blood vessels and it just causes your voice to get all tight, and you can't get that that money voice that they want.
Oh yeah, the money voice. Malcolm's got the money voice.
Well, that's what it's
No
called.
jazz.
I saw something in the back. Yes, sir. You and then you. So yeah, back to back.
What exercises do you like to do to warm up your voice before you start anything?
You actually want?
Yeah,
Alright.
there's several different things you can do. You can do like articulator exercises. Like practicing like consonants, like and then you can also get into just like like humming the same opening the air passages and whatnot, things like that. But I mean, like what do you guys?
I don't warm up.
Oh, you just
I don't. I literally like the best. Like sometimes I'll rap in the car on the way to a session because then you can talk really fast. And if I really want to get crazy, I'll rap as Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck, and that way I can rap in character. But I don't warm up. I'm crazy. I don't know. Do you warm up?
Oh yeah, always. Like I said, I like to do a few scales and honestly just a few neck stretches, like this one.
Yeah, that works too.
We're such a theater actor.
If you hold that for a few seconds, it actually opens up your vocal cords a
Do you
little
have your
bit.
scarf with you? Because it's kind of cold in here.
I lost my scarf at the airport. And you, sir?
Just asking about online resources that you'd recommend. You said I want to be a voiceactor.com. Are there any like specific YouTube people that you'd recommend?
I would say that Rob's podcast is really good.
Talking Tunes with Rob Paulson. That's a great little podcast.
Talking Tunes with
Rob Paulson.
Rob Paulson, the
He
voice
was
of Pinky.
Yakko. He brings in people from all across. Like he had Kevin Eastman, who was the creator of the Ninja Turtles. He's had every voice actor from John DiMaggio to Phil Lamar to like everybody. Literally anybody that you know, he's had on there. Steve Bloom,
Charlie
Adler. I forgot. There's also if you guys are familiar with Newgrounds, they do a lot of flash animations. all of those that have voices, they all get them from somewhere. Now, some of the people do their own stuff, like they're actors, so they do their stuff. But a lot of them don't know actors, so they'll post and say, hey, I'm doing this short, like 2-minute film. Can anybody, play a whatever for me? That's a great way to also build a resume. It kind of piggybacks on the student film thing.
You, sir.
Yes.
When marketing your voice, is it better to market a unique character or unique voice to you, or to parrot something that somebody else has created?
Unique for sure.
Yeah, your voice.
They don't need another Peter Griffin.
Right.
Everybody likes to do Peter Griffin. They don't. Seth MacFarlane's not retiring, and if he does, Family Guy's going with him. They don't need another Homer Simpson. They got him. They got Dan Castellanetto. So if you do voice matching, that's good for like celebrities. So like if they don't want to come back and dub over the commercial for their movie, I get those a lot. They're like, oh, we need somebody to do Johnny Depp for like 2 lines because he can't curse on TV. So we need somebody to come in and say darn. Like that's really good. So if you can do celebrity impressions, like actually spot on impressions, that's awesome. That's voice matching. That's a niche. That's what I was talking about.
And that's ADR. So talk a little bit about ADR in general.
ADR is a pain in the butt. I'm gonna be honest. Who in here is a fan of anime? Wow.
The entire room. All right.
Okay.
There
So
we go.
anime is ADR. I have a. Where's my? Okay. Hang on. I actually have an old script. Hang on. Okay. So anime is fun because you have the animation in front of you, but you have to match lip flap.
Yep.
and it's not meant to be translated into English. Like it's done in Japanese, it's made in Japan, and then they send it over here with a very raw translation. And so they have to take that translation and not only adapt it so that it fits the flaps, but then we have to make it sound like it's supposed to be in English. And it's really, really hard. Like I know a lot of people are like, man, this dub is terrible. Where did they find these losers? And I'm like,
They're trying.
it's really hard. And like, who in here likes Cowboy Bebop? Right? But it sounds like it should be in English. Like if you didn't know that was an anime, you'd be like, oh, this is a great, really mature English cartoon, or Digimon, or Pokemon. Like all of that stuff is with your Saturday morning cartoons. And that's because they took the time to adapt it, and they worked really hard. The way ADR works, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, basically you get a preview in Japanese, you get to see what the original Japanese was like, and then you'll get 3 beeps, beep, 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 and then you go on the imaginary 4th beep, and you perform. And a lot of times you'll get direction of slow it down a little bit, speed it up a little bit. Okay, we have to change the script, there's too many flaps, or there's not enough flaps, we have to add some words, take some words out. And that's kind of the process, and you do that over and over and over again. And you're not recording with anybody. You never record with anybody in anime, mostly with ADR. You're in there alone, and you rely on your director to kind of give you the context. Maybe if somebody recorded before you, you'll have their English line leading you in. But if you're the first person to record, it's pretty cold. So that's ADR. And I can try to find the script so you can see what it looks like, but that's ADR.
Well, also ADR can also be very unglamorous. Like you said, coming in to do like 2 lines to voice match an actor, that's, again, one of the very probably the least glamorous aspect of the professional voiceover biz. But again, it's one of those things you have to be able to do. I mean, not everything in the biz is like, all fun and getting to do the great cartoon characters that everybody loves. Like I said, when you're starting out, it's going to be a lot of, ADR, a lot of walla. Walla's at it, like, anytime in an anime where there's, a crowd and everybody in the crowd is talking, that's walla. And it's basically just a whole lot of nonsense all compiled together. Sometimes they're not even saying sentences that make any coherent sense. It's just random word string together.
I love walla in anime because you typically don't have flaps to match. Like, all right, so I was working on. Does anybody watch the new Gundam series, Origins? Okay, cool. 1 guy, awesome. So two guys. All right, so I'm in the new Gundam series, but there was a ADR session that we had where we were in an airport, and they're like, all right, so we have this airport. All of the other actors are talking about their gates and their flights, and then can you talk about something else? So without even thinking, I went, man, I hate the Wi-Fi in this place. Why is it $35.95 for some Wi-Fi up in this airport? But I love that. It's so great because you can just screw around and nobody's gonna hear that. It's gonna be mixed under 5 or 10 other people. But you just you get to mess around. And I love walla or background stuff. It's so good. Oh my God.
All right, maybe a few more questions and then we'll get to the script reading. So, you.
I was wondering if you had any suggestions for what anybody should put on a demo reel that they're going to put up on like Fiverr or castingcall.club, or
sure.
if they want to put up.
You'll need 2 demo reels, typically speaking. A commercial reel, which is a lot more straightforward. Like I said, again, they'll want the typically like your normal tone, the everyday sort of conversational type of tone, and maybe like some commercials have characters, so you can do kind of a marketable character voice, they're not going to want anything too off the wall in a commercial. It's going to want to be like a marketable character, like an instantly recognizable type of character voice. Now, for your own original character / animation / video game reel, first thing, like this guy said, don't put any imitations on it.
Yeah.
They don't need a Homer Simpson. They don't need a Peter Griffin. They've already got those guys. So, do you, completely you, like, know your voice. What characters can I do? As an actor, where am I coming from? What type of characters can I fit? And then use those on your character reel. You don't necessarily need to have the broadest character range. For example, H. John Benjamin gets a lot of character work, and he does one voice.
Yeah, he does.
He's admitted as much in interviews. He's even said, I'm not really that, much of a voice actor guy. I do one voice. So, if you can make that work for you, great, but it's not common. Like, I can only think of one other guy who's made that sort of like, yeah, I do one voice work. And
Lorenzo Music, yeah.
Yeah.
The dude that.
Oh, Patrick Warburton.
Patrick
Warburton.
Yeah, Patrick Warburton.
Yeah. You just gotta sound like you're yawning. Hey, Beta. That's like it's yawning. You can do that.
But yeah, so definitely, like, if you have a lot of vocal range, flex it. Use it as much as you can in your character demo. But again, they're not looking for just, how many different voices can this person do? They're looking for what characters can this person play. Can you act? So that's really the most important thing. But yeah, if you can combine all three, if you have vocal range, a lot of different characters you can play, and you're a good actor, show off as much of that as you can, as many different types of emotions as you can. Show off what you got.
That's why I got left in your room, the script, because I'll let you see it.
What? Oh, you said you left the script.
I was going to show them what an ADR script looked like, but I don't have it.
Oh,
sorry.
It's all good.
And anything you want to add?
What's the question?
Anything you want to add? Or what to put on a demo?
It all depends on the demo. The one thing I'll say about demos, don't make a demo until you're ready. Because unless you're making it yourself, it's going to cost you over $1,000. I guarantee it. So it is not cheap. It's like anything else in life. If you want to have like a professionally made reel, you're going to have to pay for it. It's like an artist portfolio. If you want to put that together and sell your artwork, you don't just give it away for free. Like you have to pay for commissions and stuff like that. Putting a demo together is like doing a commission. Like it's going to cost a lot of money to get something really well made. And that's what you want, because it's going to represent the best of what you do. So my only advice for a voiceover demo is, even if you don't have a lot of versatility, show everything that you do well. Show all of your A stuff. Don't be like, oh, here's my A character. This one's kind of okay. It's like a C, A, B, C. No, just do all even if it's only like 30 seconds, show off all of your A material and just be like, this is what I do, this is everything I got. And that's going to look a lot better than just trying to stretch yourself too far and not showing off the best of what you can do. But always wait till you're ready, because it's a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, a way to kind of bypass that is like, you can go to a school for it, where people kind of specialize in, audio and, engineering and things like that. You can probably, get a decent deal out of it. But
for the mixing, the reason why I say you got to be careful is because, especially with commercials, you want to go to somebody that knows the trends, the marketing trends.
True.
With animation, you want to know what's being made. With video games, what's being produced. And hopefully whoever you go to has an idea of those trends, and that way they're going to be able to put stuff on your demo that's actually marketable. Because if you're doing stuff that was, popular in the 1990s, that's great, but that's not what's being made right now. That's not what people are booking right now. So that's what you want on your demo, is stuff that's going to work right now. Because the styles change constantly.
Yeah. And one more quick little tip. Maximum length, minute 30. Don't exceed that. Average length per clip, 6 to 8 seconds. If it's a little less or a little more, fine.
Ideally 60 seconds.
Yeah, I heard it.
And most casting directors won't get past the 10-second mark.
It's crazy.
I can tell if somebody can act in 5 to 10 seconds, guaranteed. Like on Dust, when I would listen to an audition, I could tell in 5 to 10 seconds whether or not they had something. So that's why it's so imperative to have your best stuff and have it up front. Your best stuff has to be up front.
Any other questions?
Real quick. All right, 1, and then 2, and then I think we're good.
Yeah. You said it's expensive because we're talking about renting out like a sound booth with the really high quality microphones and spongy stuff on the wall.
And also paying the engineer, paying whoever you're going to get to direct it, possibly write it.
Right, because you can't do that at home with an expensive microphone and a bunch of egg cartons taped to your
I mean, you shouldn't.
So,
and I say that having done that myself.
As have I.
Both of my demos are homemade. Nobody can tell because I was decent. I took some mixing classes, so I understood what I was doing. But I would never, ever recommend that you make your own unless you are 100% confident that you know exactly what you're doing, you know you can mix, you know you can write well, and you have confidence in your ability to self-direct. Which
or
is
if you have friends who can do it.
Or if you have friends that can do it. Like I helped Zach with his demo. But unless you have that, it's absolutely worth it to spend the money and get it done professionally and have somebody kind of check off, okay, this is something you do well. Okay, you thought you could do this well, but I don't think it's as competitive as you think. Let's go with this instead. That's kind of what you're paying the director for.
And the last question was you, I believe.
When you're voicing a character, how do you know when to use your regular voice or something like your regular voice, and how do you know when to break out the more off-the-wall stuff?
Are you asking in terms of auditioning? I imagine.
Sure.
That's where it's going to be determined, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it really depends on the audition side. Like, I mean, if you look at a character side, and I mean look at the voice description, look at the age, look at the visual representation of the character if one is provided to you, and kind of go off of that. But generally for character auditions, multiple takes is great. Different voices, different approaches per take will get you very, very far. The more diversity you can show off in your audition, the better.
I would say that to answer your question, number one is going to be the picture. If you're lucky enough, like with Dust, we sent out pictures with characters when we had the ability to. We cast the main villain without ever knowing what he was going to look like. So like sometimes that'll happen. It's either not ready or it's too confidential. They can't send that out. The other thing that's going to determine that is the genre or the type of game you're reading for. If you're reading for Katamari Damacy, let's say, there was no voiceover in that, but something that's really weird, wacky. Conker's Bad Fur Day. That was. I was like, wait a second, I forgot where I was for a second. Conker's Bad Fur Day. That game was crazy. That was if you didn't walk in there like high already, you weren't going to get the job. Like that's what you needed to be in the mindset for. It was crazy. But that's a very different game than if you're reading for. I'll go back to Mass Effect. Totally different styles. So instantly, when you either see that artwork or you see the copy, you're going to know based on the breakdown. Okay, this is the kind of game it is. And if you play a lot of games, you'll be able to notice it instantly. Conker's is going to be very, like he was saying, high energy, big, crazy, off the wall, wacky. Probably some improving. Mass Effect is going to almost be a film or TV style. Very small, very intimate, very real acting. And typically you're going to use your own voice for something like Mass Effect. You're not going to put anything on. On Conker's Bad Fur Day, you could go wacky. I mean, one of the characters was the Great Mighty Pooh. Let's be real. You see that, you're going to be like, I am the Great Mighty Pooh! Like, sure, go crazy. Why not?
Yeah. If they don't have a decent description, just kind of like read it to the context of the script. If they're talking about the Great Mighty Pooh, go
have
crazy
some fun.
with it, but if they're talking around like a board table, like a board meeting, you're gonna want to play it down. You don't want to.
Yeah, Commander Shepard should not sound like the Great Mighty Pooh. That should never happen.
As hilarious as that would be.
So yeah, use all the information provided to you. Pay attention to the context and go with your gut.
Yeah.
Do we want to bring people up?
All right, let's wrap up the Q&A now and have people come up to read scripts. Let's start with Dustin Elysian Tail. We need 2 men and 1 woman who would like to come up and read.
So who wants to read? All right, you pick, Zach.
And you, I saw your hand go up, and you, sir. All right, so our first character, Dust, our mysterious hero. Handsome, calm, probably in his mid-20s, and generally soft-spoken. He is unfazed by danger, but breaks his cool demeanor when his emotions run high. Fidget, the tiny flying creature who accompanies Dust. She is both the pessimist and the most light-hearted of the trio. She is a frail, slightly nervous, yet fun-loving creature, quick to crack a joke if the mood is right. She has a high-pitched voice and is jumpy when danger presents itself. She is able to peek through the cracks of Dust's emotional armor and generally wants everyone to be happy. She's the only character who would be able to break the fourth wall due to her joyful nature.
I don't have a Y chromosome.
Yeah! That's the requirement.
And Ara, the mysterious talking sword. By the way, this guy, the voice of Ara.
I hate that guy.
The mysterious talking sword that accompanies Dust. There is a wise, ancient quality to the voice. Ara is obedient and helpful at the same time and has a genuine concern for the well-being of others. While the voice will be augmented digitally, the speed at which he speaks should be fairly normal due to the large amount of dialogue he has.
I mean, no pressure. I'm just sitting right here.
No pressure whatsoever. This is all for fun.
I helped cast the game. That's my character. But you'll do fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, right.
No, really, don't. No, I'm not judging you at all. So they're going to need a microphone. So can I stand up and hold a mic there so that they can talk?
There.
So all right.
Let's give them ours.
You're going to give them
Oh,
yours?
I guess we'll stand up here.
No, I'll stand up. You sit down. You got to intimidate them.
Okay.
Are you the real Slim Shady?
Please. You said you rap. Oh wait, no, that was him. That
No, that was me.
You
That was me.
I don't rap.
And that was his bugs. That's how you know you can do an impression when you can rap as them. So what are we going to give them 30 seconds to look everything over?
Yeah, take a minute to look everything over, figure out what you want to do with the character, and then go nuts.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll tell you what, let's take it through. Dust, your last line is going to be, when that time comes, Fidget, it's yours. We'll take it through that, just to get started. It'll be on the second page, so that'll be the last line.
All right.
Indeed. Yep. And then once you guys got that, we'll move on to the next part. Real Monsters. Yeah, that was a great show. So you guys all having a good time with the con so far? So I gotta tell you, you can blame Zach for this. This is my first furry convention ever. I've never been to one of these things, so I'm kind of learning on the fly. You guys have been awesome though. It's been fun. That's a freaking cool costume, by the way. That's really, and you raised your hand to read, so I'm really curious. I kind of want to call on him, because that's hard to do.
Next round, next round.
I'm just saying.
Next round.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready?
Sure.
Are you sure? No, you're gonna be mic'd. I'm gonna hold a mic in front of your face. Well, all right, you ready? All right, who's got the first line? Is it Dust? Oh, you do? All right, talk into the mic whenever you're ready.
Dust, dust, awaken, rise.
It's not my line.
It's his.
You're Dust.
You are.
Why have I been summoned? The answers will come. Now rise and claim the blade of Ara.
Woo! I made it! Oh wait, the sword says lay dormant for 200 years. And guess who's on duty the day it decides to fly off by itself?
And who is she? My apologies, Fidget. The one standing before you is Dust, who has summoned me.
Oh, now it talks. This thing is just full of surprises.
Your name is Fidget?
That's me, Keeper of the Blade, and you're Dust.
Dust? That name doesn't sound familiar at all. Nor do I remember summoning this weapon. Your memory will return in time. But we digress. There is much to do.
Wait, where are we going? I can't just let you take the sword, man.
There must be a reason it came to me.
Fine, I'm too tired to argue about it, so I'll just tag along for now. But once this is over, I really need to take the sword back.
When that time comes, Fidget, it's yours.
Give him a round of applause. Well, I mean, if the game wasn't made, baby. Yeah, why did you guys leave? You're not done.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to get direction, and then you're going to do it again. Do it again! All right. Do you want to start? Do you have anything?
Yeah, sure. I got a few notes actually. Oh no, you all.
You guys were
You guys were great.
You guys all made very strong and very different choices. It was very good.
Yeah, you all did make very good choices. So I think for Ara, loved the voice type. The energy was great. But I think for Ara, I kind of want something a little bit more intimate, something very sort of like he's kind of like something fatherly almost. But again, love the voice, but maybe take the energy down a little bit and get something very wise and fatherly.
I'll give you. Have you seen the X-Men before, the cartoon from the '90s, or the movies? Yeah. Think Professor Xavier for Ara in terms of his demeanor. Yeah, definitely much lower key. He knows more than he's letting on. His whole thing throughout the whole game is, I know something you don't know. And it's not malicious. It's just, I have a lot of information that you're not ready to have yet, so I have to get you there. And that's his whole thing. For Fidget in particular, the thing I love that you did, it's called pre-life. When you saw that Fidget was running, basically, or flying in this case, to catch up and find this sword, you started panting, you were very out of breath. I can't tell you how many people on their first try don't do that. Those are really, really good instincts. So you deserve a lot of credit for that. I would say go even crazier with her. Fidget is absolutely bonkers. So up that energy. I would rather you go too far and I have to pull you back. Good. You're good to go. It's just like in Concord. You're ready for Concord Bad for Death. Perfect.
That's gonna hurt. Yeah, good. All right, so we had Era.
Who did Killer Instinct? I heard so. Yeah. Nice. I'm in that game, so that was sorry. My ears flipped.
Oh yeah, you were.
I'm Conra, so yeah. Jeez, yeah. I love Killer Instinct. Oh my God. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, great.
All right, and then for Dust, just give it more energy. Yeah, more energy.
I would also, because you're basically waking up from this long slumber, you have no idea where you are, you remember nothing.
Groggy.
Yeah, try to make him like a little bit groggier so that you're like, I don't really know where I am right now. Not that stone, but yeah. This isn't actually Conkers.
Why don't you take that?
All right, are you guys ready? All right. Whenever you're ready.
I'm not first.
No, first page.
Back to the first page.
From the top.
I've already finished.
You're good. Ready? Here we go.
Dust, dust, awaken. Rise.
Why have I been summoned?
The answers will come. Now rise, claim the blade of Ara.
Whew! I made it! The sword lays dormant for 200 years. And guess who's on duty the day it decides to fly by itself?
Who was she?
My apologies, Fidget. The one standing before you is Dust, who has summoned me.
Oh, now it talks. This thing is just full of surprises.
Surprises? Yeah, it surprised me.
Your name is Fidget.
That's me, keeper of the blade. And you're Dust?
Dust? That doesn't sound familiar at all. Nor do I remember summoning this weapon.
Your memory will return in time, but we digress. There is much to do.
Wait, where are we going? I can't just let you take the sword.
There must be a reason it came to me.
Fine. I'm too tired to argue about it, so I'll just tag along for now. But once this is over, I really need to take the sword back.
When the time comes, Fidget, it's yours.
Very nice, guys. Very nice. Guys, I gotta say, that was some really good adjustments, like all around. Like really nice stuff. Like that's not easy to do. So thank you.
Very well done.
Very well done.
Are we allowed to sit now?
Yes.
Yeah, now I'm just gonna stand up. By the way, so the interesting thing that happened on Ara, it was a very interesting voice choice because it's actually the complete opposite of what we went with. No, but it's really good because if I would have heard that voice, there's a character in the game called Elder Grey Eyes, who's a lot older and has that very deep, rich texture. And I would have instantly sent you that audition and said, hey, what you did on Ara, do it on Elder Grey Eyes because you're perfect. So that's another instance of doing what you do best and kind of giving it your best shot. Because sometimes you might not be right for what you're reading on, but there's another character that they go, oh, you're perfect for this. And so instantly I would have thought of Elder Grey Eyes for you.
Well, thank you. That's sort of based on what you guys were talking about before. That's my Simon Bar-Sinister.
Yeah, and it sounds amazing. Like it's a really good voice. I should say character because it's more than just a voice.
I think he was based on an old actor, the villain in It's a Wonderful Life. Lionel Barrymore.
Yes.
Yeah, Lionel
Good
Barrymore.
call.
I think Simon Bar-Sinister was based on him. Yeah,
Lionel Barrymore. There it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was very nice. Fidget, wonderful energy. I really liked it. And then with Dust, I liked how you kind of weren't able to figure out quite where you were. I would have told you to even push it further. Like you could have been even groggier. Maybe I would have told you just to be stoned, and we'll see what happens.
For that mild hangover.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like when you've been asleep for hundreds of years. Yeah. Or so he thought. All right, who's next? All right, I already want the dude. I want him. Yes, in the costume, because I want to see how this works. Go ahead, pick somebody else, Malcolm.
Silver.
All right. And then we need another lady.
You.
Yeah.
He's a lady.
All right. So we already know who you're gonna play.
Which one of you gentlemen wants to read for Dust? All right.
Oh, okay. We're gonna. Okay, that works. And then that makes you Ara. There you go.
All right.
So take a minute to look it over. I'm still thoroughly impressed. But you guys have to understand. So, like, I have a day job. So I play Scooby-Doo at Universal. So I've actually been in one of those things before. I don't know how the vision is in there, but the vision in Scooby is terrible because I see through the nose, kind of, the side of the nose.
That's the general consensus.
It's just, I don't know how people do it as like professionally, I don't.
You enjoyed it, by the way, right? Huh? You enjoyed it, by the way, right? Like
It's hot in those things when it's 102 out.
Yeah.
It's hot. All right. I have a lot of respect for people that can do it constantly.
So while the last group did a great job, I want you guys to try your own thing. Don't feel like you have to conform to what they did before. Do your own thing. Do you.
Exactly.
Or do a really bad impression of the person that just did it. Because a bad impression is a great character.
It's a new voice.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to do a bad impression of his good impression of an impression of somebody, that'd be
Same lines.
exact same lines. Yep. I'm just giving you guys time. What?
Yeah, and this is also an exercise in taking direction. That's a super important part of being.
How often are you on set and they say, "Okay, that was awful. Do it again."
No, like most of the time, I'm like, "Okay, that was great. Now do it this way," and then we'll do it like 60 more times. It's like I thought the first one was great, you know. It's like, you know.
Well, for you, because I think even more than Zach and myself, like you've done voiceover stuff, but then you've also been on camera. What would you say is the hardest transition for you personally?
Yeah, the hardest transition, like jumping between the two, is just again like bringing the performance here, as opposed to just like playing to like a camera or playing to an audience. It's like you have to bring it here, and it's like theater of the mind. Like you have to kind of like make the scene in your head and try to imagine where the character is, what the temperature might be. I know it sounds like very artsy, but it really helps.
No, he's absolutely true. Because think about it, when they're reading these scripts, like they don't know where they are. They can't see any props. They can't see the scene. They can't understand what's going on around them. They have to make all that up in their head. So it's gonna be so cool. Okay, I'm sorry. I want to see how this works. All right, are you ready, Ara?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Whenever you're ready, take it away.
Dust, awaken, rise. Why have I been summoned? The answers will come. Now rise and claim the blade of Ara.
I made it! The sword lay dormant for 200 years, and guess who's on duty the day it decides to fly off by itself?
And who is she? My apologies, Fidget. The one standing before is Dust, who has summoned me.
Now it talks! This thing is full of surprises!
Your name is Fidget?
That's me, Keeper of the Blade! And you're Dust?
Dust? That name doesn't sound at all familiar. But do you remember, nor do I remember summoning this weapon.
Your memory will return in time, but we digress. There is much to do.
Wait! Where are we going? I can't just let you take the sword!
There must be a reason we came here.
Fine! I'm too tired to argue about it, so I'll tag along. For now. But once this is over, I really need to take the sword back.
That's Dust. I can't read. When that time comes, Fidget, it's yours.
Give him a round of applause. He didn't take the head off or anything.
No, he didn't.
Wow, all right.
Fantastic. You can't bring
All
the
right,
magic.
notes.
Yeah, that was wonderful. I like what you did. Like, you reacted to Fidget's, crazy, obnoxiousness. And, half the time, and that was a good choice, too, just being zany and bonkers, because that is Fidget. But yeah, like, half the time, like, this is rare. You won't be in the same booth as other voice actors. But in the rare instance that you are, like, being able to play off of each other's energy, that's great acting. Like, that's...
Acting is reacting. Yeah.
Acting is reacting. And Silver, it's you made some great decisions. Even though like you probably wouldn't be cast for the voice. The performance in and of itself was, good. You made, the fatherly tone, the cadence.
And I like that there was some musicality to it as well.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay. First of all, I want to say I love that you sounded like a Jewish mother, like halfway through. You're just like, oh my God, Dust, you haven't eaten in like 300 years. You're so Spanish. It was funny. It was great. I was like, she probably has an aunt that talks just like that. Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Because you want to shoot yourself. So because Fidget is a very real character. So I would say, for lack of a better term, the squeakiness, I would try to take a little bit of, keep the energy, but maybe take the pitch down just a little bit, because you don't want to turn off who's ever listening by having that really high-pitched sound, because you have to have places to go. You want to be able to go high and low, and so I would say just tweak that a little bit. Performance was good. I really liked the performance, though. For Ara, I want to see you do something completely different, because it was good to steal from him, stealing from somebody else, but I want to see, because a lot of times the director's going to go, that was really good, what else do you have? And that's all you get. Exactly. Yeah, so I want to see what else you have. I'm not going to tell you anything else. For Dust, wow. I'm still impressed. The thing I want from you is play up the I don't know where the heck I am. I love that you played up the comedy on Who Is She? Try to play that serious, like I don't know who you are. And I might have to hurt you because you're threatening me right now. I'm surrounded by a talking sword and an imbat. This is weird. All right? And we're going to start with Ara whenever you're ready.
Dust, dust, awaken, rise.
Why have I been summoned?
The answers will come. Now rise and claim the blade of Ara.
Wait! I made it! This Northerly storm made for 200 years, and guess who's on duty the day that it decides to fly off by itself?
Who is she? My apologies, Fidget. The one standing before you is Dust, who has summoned me.
Okay, wait. Now it talks? This thing is full of surprises.
Her name is Fidget?
That's me, Keeper of the Blade. And you're Dust?
Dust? That name doesn't sound at all familiar. Nor do I remember summoning this weapon.
Your memory will return in time, but we digress. There is much to do.
Wait, where are we going? I can't just let you take the sword.
There must be a reason it came to me.
Fine. I'm too tired to argue about it. So I'll tag along for now. But once this is over, I really need to take the sword back.
When that time comes, Fidget, it's yours.
All right. We have 9 minutes left. That's good to know. That was awesome, guys. I got nothing. That was really good all the way around. Give another round of applause.
Like that was great adjustments, great energy. But I would just ask you to pull back on the breathing, the heavy breathing. Just choose where you want to pant and whatnot, because some of the lines can get lost in the panting. But other than that, it was a great performance.
That's a good point.
The moment that I liked the most was, I'll tag along for now. Very nice adjustment. I love tonal shifts in the middle of a line. That was a very nice tone shift there. Good
Also,
job.
I love how it went from Jewish mother to Valley Girl. It was awesome. It was great. Yeah, we can do. Did you guys want to do one more group? Is that okay? Now hold on. For this, I want a gender bend for this one.
Let's gender bend.
Is that a rule? Is that 63? I don't know the rules. Okay, whatever.
So let's have 2 ladies and 1 gentleman come up and read.
Okay. Well, there's one lady.
One lady. We
All
need to
right.
find another lady to come up and read. Looking back there. The green.
All right, and now we need a guy. Hold on, Malcolm, pick a guy.
Let's see. You seem so adamant. I saw it.
All right. Come on up.
Come on up, folks.
Come on over, baby.
Grab a script. Now, you don't know who you're reading, so you're going to be Fidget.
Okay.
Yep, you're Fidget. Now, which one of you two lovely ladies would like to be Dust? Oh, you forgot a page.
Dust.
You want to be Dust? Then you are Ara in the green. So take a moment, look it over. I'm actually going to steal your mic because you have a cord closer to them.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Thank you. So while they're looking over the script, does anybody have a quick question that they want answered? While we're here? Anything? No? All right, I tried. Yes, sir, in the hoodie.
Yeah, in terms of the recording environment, I guess in some cases you're going to need something that's very close mic'd and fairly insulated, but if you wanted to have a more ambient sound, would you have like a larger recording space, or would you try to record out and on location, or you prefer to keep it mostly controlled?
Actually, you would change it on the... So, for example, like, I work on some live action dubs where you're dubbing over stuff that was done on set, out in the open. Typically use a shotgun mic for that, and then they fix all that in post. They make it sound like it's outdoors.
Okay.
So the mic will obviously be changed if they want that kind of a sound, but you typically are never going to be recording anywhere else other than a booth, even if you're doing live action dubbing.
Okay.
Yeah. Another quick question? Yes.
Are agencies in play at all, or is it really all freelance? Like once you get out there, it's the network of who you
All the big stuff is agencies, and that's like that could be a whole other panel in and of itself. But when you're just starting out, typically you're getting stuff through your own contacts or people that you know.
Though there are small agencies out there, they're usually known as boutique agencies, where it's local to one area. Like for example, I'm with a lovely agency called In Both Ears who operate in the Pacific Northwest.
They're not that small though. They got they got Porky Pig on their roster. I'm just saying.
That's true, small-ish. But I mean, there's the really huge ones in LA that distribute a lot of work. But typically, if you're just in like a local sort of area agency, that's going to be more the commercial stuff. So you're going to be preparing to do a lot of that. And even then, in that case, it's still technically freelancing because you don't know how often you're going to be booking a role. So it's still, you're kind of pursuing it from that same freelance mindset. So you really can't count on anything. But those agencies are extremely useful for making your way to the bigger agencies. And some people even stick with those boutique agencies, once they're in, SBV in Los Angeles, just for example. So, yeah.
Stealing this. Use that. You want the freestyle?
Seemed like we were about to freestyle.
I mean, if you want to, we can do that later.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this script, folks.
Yeah. Actually.
Get the rap part.
Oh, I see what you... Oh, W-R-A-P. Got it. Rap, as in like a... Okay. It's funny. It was a joke. It was a pun. Okay. Are you guys ready? You need a minute? You good? All right, you were Ara, correct? Ara. You were Dust. Ara. Oh, you guys confused the heck out of me. No, it's good. I'll figure it out. I mean... All right, there we go. That's a little better. And look, I have more slack on the cord. How is this a shorter cord? I can't win. All right. Ara. Yes, okay. So you're going to start. Ready? Here we go.
Dust. Dust. Awaken. Rise.
Why have I been summoned?
The answers will come. Now, rise and claim the blade of Ara.
I made it. The sword lays dormant for 200 years. And guess who's on duty the day it decides to fly off by itself?
My apologies, Fidget. The one standing before you is Dust, who has summoned me.
Oh, now Togs! This thing is full of surprises.
Fidget?
That's me, Keeper of the Blade, and you're Dust.
Dust? That name doesn't sound at all familiar. Nor do I remember summoning this weapon.
Your memory will return in time, but we digress. There is much to do.
Wait, where are we going? I can't just let you take the sword.
There must be a reason it came to me.
Boy, I'm too tired to argue about it, so I'll tag along for now. But once this is over, I really need to take the sword back and finish my last cigarette. Years, I need to get my last dragon.
When that time comes, Fidget.
Give him a round of applause.
I'm going to say right now, the improvisation is also fantastic to do in auditions. If there's room for improvisation, that's a way to make yourself stand out. And notice how much this guy standed out because he did the improv.
It's not because I'm like 6'5" or anything.
Totally not. I also like that you didn't try to do some kind of girly voice. You stuck to what you knew, and it was hysterical. So thank you. You ladies did great, and what I loved is that you also didn't try to play a male part. You played it like it would be as if it was a female, especially Ara. Ara could have been a female. We had a male in mind, but we definitely could have considered a female, because it's a very gender ambiguous role. It's not, I mean, what is it, a girl or a guy for a sword? Like, let's be real. Exactly, it's a sword. It's a sword.
But it's a sword.
But it's a sword.
Just saying.
The one thing I will say about Ara, I really would love to see you play up the mystique and the mystery even more. There is a lot going on with what you know that gets revealed later in the game, and you really need Dust to follow you. So while it's nice that you kind of played it even keel, you want to kind of have that, as Zach said before, that musicality that kind of implies that there's more going on than you're actually letting on. For Dust, play up the confusion again, just like I told the first person. I really want to hear that you have no idea where you were, you don't remember anything, and there is a talking sword and a flying bat thing screaming at you.
Yeah.
That is smoked for years. No, do the same thing. What I want from you, go even further. I want to see where you can take it. If we're going to do it, let's go all out, baby. Let's do it.
And another note that I would like to make is, again, we mentioned earlier, acting is reacting. React a little bit more to Fidget's ridiculous energy this time. I think that'd be a lot of fun to see. I want to see how you two play off.
Play off. All right, are we ready? All right, this time I'm going to remember who's who. So Fidget, Dust, Ara, got it.
No.
Yeah, no, that works. Yeah, no. I got this. I got this.
Dust, awaken. Rise.
Why have I been summoned?
The answers will come. Now, rise and claim the blade of Ara.
Oh, I made it. The sword lays dormant for 200 years, and guess who's on duty the day it decides to fly off by itself?
And who is she?
My apologies, Fidget. The one standing before you is Dust, who has summoned me.
Oh, now it talks. This thing is full of surprises.
Your name is Fidget.
That's me, Keeper of the Blade. And you're Dust?
Dust? That name doesn't sound at all familiar. Nor do I remember summoning this West.
Your memory will return in time, but we digress. There is much to do.
Wait, where are we going? I can't just let you take the sword.
There must be a reason it came to me.
Fine, I'm too tired to argue about it, so I'll tag along for now. But once this is over, I really need to take the sword back and finish my last cigarette.
That time comes, Fidget. It's yours.
All right.
Oh yeah, we are 3 minutes
All
over.
right.
So unfortunately,
Thank you
we
guys
have
so
to
much.
wrap things up here. Thank you all so much for coming. This was a great turnout. You've all been wonderful. Thank you so much for showing up, everybody.
Yeah, and if you liked this panel, go ahead and submit for, let the chairman know. I think you would just go online, right?
Yeah, on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, let it be known that you want, more programming like this.
And I will say this, we're going to go out in the hall in probably 2 minutes when we all pack up. So if you want to talk, we're going to do it outside, and we just don't want to hold up for the next panel. But yeah, we'll be around. So definitely hit us up for the weekend. And thank you guys for coming. You've been awesome. You go Bulls.